Hello. So this is a workshop style variation of our Monday practice. And Monday practice is an intermediate advanced practice. So this isn't a great place to start if you're beginning. It's more of a place to start if you've been doing lots of down dogs, lots of planks, and even better if you've been doing lots of hopping down dogs. So if that's you, fabulous. Our whole plan, or my whole plan, is to build up a really strong foundation with this flow and use that foundation to get us upside down. And then the only remit once we're upside down is, how do I find comfort? Where is my line? And it doesn't have to be a balanced line. We are literally just going to find our line, and it's going to be different for everyone. And then we're going to see if we can breathe for 1 or 2 breaths and then come down. So I'll take you through a strong flow. Everything will be prepared. We'll get upside down. Naturally, everyone has a different line. And for this class, we don't care. We're not about balancing. This is about finding comfort being upside down and building a little bit of stamina being upside down, and also dismounting. So obviously we will need a wall. So if you need to pop me on pause while you find a wall or a suitable door, feel free. Just remember that you need to feel comfortable where you are hopping. So somewhere that you feel the door's not going to open, somewhere that you feel there's something, nothing in your eye line that's going to distract you, etc., etc. And then come back. Okay, once you have everything ready, just start to connect to the breath. So when we go upside down, it's even more challenging to connect to the breath because we've asked the body to do something it doesn't normally do. We've asked the body to do something that requires a lot of strength. So now, just as we do nothing, keep connecting to the breath so that when we need to find the breath, it's there. It's like we've popped the breath in a pocket so that when we're upside down, we can just reach in. It's like a little comfortable kind of pebble in our pocket, and we can just find the breath with ease and comfort. And then gradually start to pay more attention to the exhale. And as you do that, start to make the exhale a little bit stronger. And then see if you can get a little bit more of the belly involved in that exhale. So it's more of a drawing in from the front, pulling in from the sides. And hopefully the exhale's just got that a little bit noisier. And you might even, from pulling in from the front and drawing in from the sides, be able to pull up from the pelvic floor. So there's this whole sense of the whole center of the body getting smaller with that muscle contraction, and then releasing on the inhale. Just do one more, then hold that exhale out. Just notice that it feels quite stable through there. It feels quite active. And even though we're switching on quite a lot of things, can we still breathe? So even though we've worked on the exhale, can we still keep that pull in, but breathe? And then let it go. And you should feel the breath be a little bit easier now. And then you can gently, as you exhale, Roll the head forward. And as you inhale, take the head a little bit behind you. Exhaling as head comes forward. Inhaling behind. And then move into the other direction. And then just find stillness in the body. And then same breath, but different movement. Inhale as we lift the shoulders. Exhale as we draw them back and down. Inhale as they come forward and up. Exhale back and down. And with this, I know it's really tempting to kind of keep it really soft and mobilizing. But can you take the very outskirts of that range of motion and use the shoulders to make it a little bit more active? So you ask a little bit more of range of motion and you use the shoulders to draw you into it, other direction. And then just rest, have a little shake. And then take a look at your wrists. For today, my advice, but you are more than welcome to find your own way, is to be on our forearms. And that's only because it requires less momentum to get us upside down. And because we're closer to the floor, so it means it's a little bit less scary. But I know some people really don't like not having the ability to be on their palms. So you can absolutely be on your palms. But I will be showing you on forearms. So I'll be showing you hopping up on our forearms. Even so, it makes sense for us to warm up through the hands and through the shoulders and the wrists. So take your hands down into tabletop. And then just see how they feel today. If you take your arms directly under and then start to circle around. And once again, I know it's tempting to take those circles quite quick because we're kind of in the boring part. But can you allow the speed of those circles just to slow down so that you really start to allow weight to be pulled through as many different angles of the wrist and the fingers as possible, so that we start to allow our body to get used to balancing or finding balance when our hands on our forearms or our forearms are in one place, but our shoulders, our shoulder girdle, and our torso are in another. And just take your hands off, have a little squelch. And then hands come down, toes tucked. And if, like me, you feel like you need a little bit more help with that toe tuckage, sometimes I just help. It helps if two things. One, if you take the knee slightly forward, you should find you've got a little bit more contact with the floor. Or the second thing, works better with the other one, is to have a little walk and a shake of that foot. And then lift the knees, and same thing, we're going to circle around. And then drop the knees. Take the weight off again. Do the opposite shape with the wrists. So we get those little wrinkles in the back of our wrist now, as opposed to the front of the wrist. And then come into down dog. And make your down dog about half a foot distance shorter than usual. So you've got as much chance of getting the heels down as possible. And then push back into feet so you can feel hopefully a nice Sensation going through your calves and your hamstrings. Keep on pushing back. So there's a lovely tug going on there. And then one breath, one movement. Inhale, slowly lift up onto the tiptoes, tip your body forward a little bit. Exhale, drop down onto the heels, rock back. Inhale as you tip forward. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, tip forward. Exhale, rock back. Last two, inhale, tip forward. Exhale, rock back. Last one. Tip forward. Rock back. Drop onto your knees, cross your ankles. Hips on top of your ankles. Roll back. Release the feet. Okay. So, hands and wrists and shoulders a little bit warmer now. So we really want to work a little bit on getting that center of the body really active. So remember those deep exhales that we were using or exploring at the first start of class. We're going to use those now with the weight of our body involved, not just seated. So rock back a little bit and just find the most gentlest boat. So feet close to the ground, everything is kind of a little bit comfy, and you might even feel that the calves are soft. Might give them a little bit of a massage. Why not? And at some point we decide it's time to get a bit serious. So unfold the legs, because we're in the boat, we're like, oh, okay, I've forgotten how hideous boat is. And then arms come in line with the floor. Wait for the exhale. And then as you exhale, take the body long, keeping the belly as confined as we possibly can. And then inhale to come down. And I say confined like it's a bad thing, contained. After you've inhaled, allow your exhale to bring you back up into that half bow. So head comes up, feet lift, it's half bow. Inhale as we just do nothing here. And exhale, slow boat. Inhale as we pause, maybe rest the hands, maybe we massage the calves. Exhale, we think about going really long. Inhale, we drop down. Oh, it's nice. Life is okay. That strong exhale, shortening the front of the body. Inhale as we pause, keeping the belly contained. Exhale, slow move up. Really lovely. Twice more, either with the same hands, or maybe you start to take the hands a little bit up, maybe. When you're ready, exhale. Inhale to lower. Ooh. If you want to take another, more of a breath break, please do. We've got 1.5 left. Whenever you feel the exhale is ready to lift, you use it. Inhale to pause. Exhale, lift yourself up. Inhale to pause. Last one. Exhale, go along. Inhale to rest. Exhale to lift. Inhale to pause. Exhale to come back up. Navasana. Inhale to come sit down. Grab your blocks and then come back onto hands and knees. And then from here, we're going to take a little shoulder stretch. It's really important that we try and get as much range of motion in a safe way that we can from the shoulders, because we want options when we get upside down. If our shoulders don't allow our arms to come up vertical, then the body's got no choice. If there's a restriction, and in normal day life, that would be no problem. But if we're talking about a forearm stand or a handstand, that then can cause us a problem. So if our arms don't like to be vertical, what's going to happen is that as they get somewhat close, that's going to pull on our torso. And what usually happens is, in order to accommodate that, ribs come forward, back of the body short, butt sticks out. And that's quite a powerful active position on the other side. But it also means that I'm going to have to really work hard to gain my balance there, because my butt, which for me is one of my kind of heavier aspects, is thrown out of balance with my shoulders. So rather than being in the same line at my shoulders, so the bones are kind of stacking fairly neatly, when I come into a back bend, a lot of the weight of my butt is come away from my shoulder line. So if I want to change that line, and this is I'm talking about me personally, my arms don't go vertically without the challenge of my rib cage happening. So you can see that's already happening. Boobs has come out, ribs have popped out. I can change it, but it requires a lot of core strength and core control and core coordination, which when we're upside down is something that we probably don't really want to be adding to the mix. So the most stretch that we can find, the most room we can find over the coming weeks, the easier it will be to find that little wriggle that we need without using tons and tons of energy and strength and brain power. So all that is to say is puppy pose, but puppy pose rather than resting down and making it into a really lovely kind of gooey stretch, pressing against the blocks to lift up. So if you plan to be on the wall with your forearms, then stay on your forearms now. If you plan to be on the wall with your palms, stay on your palms now. So you're either in puppy like this, or you're in puppy like this. If possible, try and keep the hips over the knee. And then again, what's going to want to happen is, in order for me to get down, because we have already shown you, we don't want to back bend, but we want to isolate that range of motion through the shoulder girdle. So I'm going to draw my belly up and then push down through the forearms. This doesn't need to be held for a long time. You might hold and release, and then hold and release. Keep pressing down. Make sure it's really active. There's no sinking. You're pushing away to lift up, not sinking down. And then walk up. Have a little check-in. And then roll the shoulders. And then down dog. Down dog in your own time. Have the blocks somewhere close to hands should you need them. From down dog, as you inhale, take the eyes forward, look forward. And as you exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, just one of these, flat back. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Just going to do my hair. Inhale, look up, hands up, standing salute. Exhale, hands, thumbs come into the heart center. There's a brief moment of pause. Inhale as you take your hands back up and gaze looks back up. And exhale, keep the legs as they are, but fold the body over the legs. So there's control on those two hands. Inhale as we pause, head is really heavy. Exhale, step the right leg back, right knee down. We're going to go for a 90-degree angle. 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. Tuck your toe. This is quite heavy on feet, quite heavy on knees. You can be higher up if it feels better. You can omit and be in crescent lunge if that is your bag. Otherwise, as much toeage on the back foot as possible. Rather than coming forward to take the weight up, try and push down to lift the weight. So rather than a lever, you're going to try and push down to just hover that back heel. And then little pulses. And even though this is really strong, we're still breathing. There's still air flowing in, we still feel comfortable. Last one. And then knee comes down, both hands come down, back to tabletop. Working on our shoulder stability now. We're going to basically take tabletop, the knees are going to lift. We're then going to twist and kick out alternate limbs. So if you're lifting your right leg, you'll be lifting your left hand. So diagonal limbs will lift. Those are the limbs that are going to kick. When you're ready, tuck, lift. I'm going to move my left leg, so my right arm. I'm going to turn and then take a little kick out and then replace. Knees down just for a second. It's a new one, I know, and it feels more complicated than it should do. Other side. We lift up. Opposite limbs. We take a little kick. We take everything back. Knees down. Once more, both sides. Lift up. Right leg comes off. Left arm, kick. Replace. Knees down just to reset. Helps with the brain, I think, sometimes. Lift up. Hoop. 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 As usual, noises are optional. Have a little roll through the shoulders. Okay, forearm plank. Still working on stability, but that's kind of technical stability now, raw strength. Forearm plank, I almost always tend to bring my hands together because it's less of an ask on my shoulder. That will make your forearm plank a little bit more challenging because you're going to have to unlace in your forearm plank, but just have it in your head. That is what you're going to do. Oops. Otherwise, forearm plank. From here, lift the right leg up and lower it down. Yes. Let's add the breath. Exhale as we lift the left. Inhale to lower. Exhale. Pull. Press through the left hand. Lift the right. Inhale to lower. Press with your right. Lift the left. Inhale to lower. Drop down. Sphinx. In my defense, it's hot in here. 26 degrees. Normally, I could do that for about an hour. Yeah, if someone was holding me up. For the minute, we're just in Sphinx, having a little rock. And then we're going to come and work on that back line. That back line is a line that's going to help pop us up. So we need to make sure that it's as active as we can possibly make it. Hands a little bit wider and down. You can adjust your hands if you desire. Otherwise, right leg starts to lift. Leg stays straight because when we kick, we need a straight leg. So keep the leg straight and powerful. Imagine the lifts coming from here, a little bit here, a little bit here, not through the bend of the leg. Oh, it's the knee. Push down with the leg that's still on the floor to lift a little bit higher. And then check in with here. So it's kind of like a high to medium. Is there a little bit more height that you can find? If there is, great. Stay there, leg is straight, leg is strong. And then lower it down. Have a little check-in. If there's any pinching along the spine, that's never a good thing. You've got two choices. Either you lower what you've raised, or you draw the belly in to take some of that bend away from that curved spine. So you either lower or you draw the belly in. Other side. Other leg comes up to a comfortable position. Or leg is straight. Have a little check in. Lift it a little bit more. And then we check in again. We might roll the ankles and do some weird stuff. Can we push through the leg that's on the floor to lift the other leg even higher? Oh, we can. It's like magic. And then pop the leg down. Have a little shift. And a little breather. Take 3 more breaths, just resetting. Already moved on a lot. Last breath. And then your choice how you want to come into dolphin. You might want to be in Sphinx and you might want to roll up until you find dolphin. You might want to be in Sphinx. Roll back a little bit, crawl forward, and then dolphin. Whatever feels best. Either way, we find ourselves in dolphin and we just have a little bit of a hangout before asking anything else. And just drop onto your knees. I'm going to interlace my hands. And we're just going to hop 3 times on one leg. All we're thinking about is having a little bit of fun, having a little bit of bounce. The leg that stays closest to the ground is going to stay pretty heavy. The other leg might come up a little bit higher. Make your dolphin a little bit shorter than usual. Leg stays straight. It goes up and goes down, up and down. Other leg bends. And there's a bounce. And just take 2 more. Or maybe one's enough for you. Just a little bounce. And then have a rest. When you feel like you need to move out of your resting position, you can come up to mountain Tadasana. And just reset. Let the breath start to recover and the heart start to slow. And then gently forward fold. Once again, legs stay as they are. We fold over by the torso. Inhale as we pulse. Exhale, left leg comes back, left knee down. We've got those lovely, luscious knee lifts. Tuck the back toe. Oh. And again, you might like to help your toes. This one needs a little bit of extra help. Yes. Once you feel like you've got a good base, push down. Keep pushing until there's a lift. And then we hover. And yes, it's tough. And yes, we're not coming forward. And yes, we can breathe. And we can feel that we're okay. Last one. Legs come down. Come back into kneeling, have a little side to side. There's little switching. Hands come back onto the floor, just one on each side, to make them really good. Lift the knees off. Opposite limb lift, we turn and we kick. If you can, keep the butt low as you come back into the start. Keep the butt low and kick. And then release. A little shake. Straight into your forearm. When you're ready, exhale to lift one leg. Inhale to drop it. Exhale, other leg. Inhale to drop. Exhale, lift. Inhale, drop. Exhale, lift. Inhale, drop. Exhale, drop. Sphinx. A little rock from side to side. A little recovery. We've got those lifts of those back legs. This time we're going to do both together. If you want to stay with them separately, take a little bit more time and do them separately. If you want to change the position of your arms because they feel better, go ahead. Otherwise, wider Sphinx arms. Wait for the inhale to rise. And then powerfully exhale and lift the legs, both legs. So it's just locust with the arms forward. With the legs lifted, can you lift a little bit more of the thigh off the ground? Are they super glued? If you keep the legs straight, is there a little bit more lift? And I've just instantly counterbalanced the weight of my body. Magical. Is there a little bit more lift to be had? Maybe there is. Ah. What about a tiny little bit more? Exhale. And then all the way down, have a little shake. Nice. And then your choice how you're coming into dolphin. Maybe via Sphinx. And because I went the other way before, I'll show you via Sphinx. So there's a roundness going on. There's a lift. There's a bend. Hello, dolphin. Some point we drop the knees. And we do 3 hops if we're hopping on that side. I'm going to do 3 hops as well. And it's going to be the side that I don't like to hop with. So don't look. I'm going to hop with a leg. Once you've done those 3 hops, have a little wriggle and meet me in mountain. Yes, hopefully there's a little bit more blood going around the system, a little bit more air. Okay, we've got a flow, standing flow, and then we're going to come do a couple more hops in between sides of the standing flow after the second round of the standing flow. So the other side will have a rest, and then we'll find our upside downiness. So your blocks either side of the front of your mat at a diagonal angle towards your little toe. So when I look at the edge, the corner of my block, the corner is at a diagonal angle to my little toe. Right, you've got an option on the 3rd round to not use the block, but for now use the block. Come into crescent lunge. Yes. Maybe you're feeling like, I'm going to go super long. Who knows what's going to happen? Whenever you exhale, take it forward into a long galloping horse. We inhale, we pause. Exhale, we find humble warrior, arms behind us, lovely. Inhale as we pause. Exhale, we're going to move that right hand to the block. So the right foot is forward, the right hand is forward. We're going to travel forward and then pick up that leg. Half move. And then exhale, quietly, softly control the landing back, crescent lunge. Inhale as we pause. Exhale, galloping horse. Inhale to pause. Exhale, a comfortable, humble warrior. Inhale to pause. Exhale, right hand comes to the block. We travel forward. And then lift. Half moon. Next, exhale. Keep the weight a little bit forward. Bend the standing leg. Keep the weight forward and you should be able to silently step it back. This one, if you want, not using the block. Crescent lunge. Exhale forward. Pausing on the inhale. Exhale. Pausing on the inhale. Hands wherever you need them. Come forward. Take your time. Forward. Take some more time. Half moon. Stay here and breathe in your half moon. Stay here and find the balance in your half moon. Two more breaths. Feet is working. Last breath. Oops. And then both feet down. A little figure of 8. Okay. Couple of more hops, both sides. So we're doing both legs And then we're going to do the other side of our standing flow. If you feel like, oh no, I'm good for hops, I feel like that might kind of push me over my tiger's egg, or your edge rather, then don't worry. You can stay and undo what we've just done. Otherwise, forearms down, or palms down if you know you're going to be using palms, and just have a little hop. I think I'm going to omit the hops, but I shall watch you virtually. Amazing. Don't knack yourself. It's just a little hop, just getting used to being airborne. And then the other side. Wonderful. Yes. Lovely. If you've been hopping, take at least 3 breaths. If like me, you've been standing, you might start to look at where you're going to be against the wall and think, okay, I'm just going to move a few things. Like I've got my plan here, so I'm just going to move that. Yeah, just move a few things ready while we wait for the breath to be breathed. And at some point, we come up to stand. Left leg meets the front edge of the mat. Right leg finds its way to crescent lunge. Oh, lovely. There. Exhale as we make our way into galloping horse. Inhaling. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhaling. That odd transition. Exhale, left hand to block. We try and take the weight as far forward as we can so that we lift off. And open up, half moon. Oh, this leg feels like it's tired already. Inhale. Keep the weight forward. Really keep the weight forward, bend the front knee so that you can control your descent back to crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Galloping horse. Inhale. Exhaling. Humble warrior. Inhale. Exhale, left hand. Think about traveling forward. So you get really, really heavy on that front leg. And then with as little momentum as you can muster, you lift that leg up. And again, this leg saying it's tired. You can encourage it by taking the top hand somewhere to the leg, giving it a little pat and say, hello. And then same thing. Weight forward, crescent lunge. Last one, maybe without block. We're going to stay with this half moon for a while and really use our balance. Galloping horse as we exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. Humble warrior. Inhaling. Exhale. Oh, I almost used the block. Right. No block. Take your time. Find your balance. Half moon. Just breathe. Belly is lifted. Just breathe. And then just stand. 2 feet down. Head up. Check in again with blood pressure. Check in again with breath. And give yourselves at least 5 breaths to rest and to steady the nervous system. This might be a little drinking break as well, like me. Okie dokies. Oh, a couple more breaths. And then as you breathe, I'm just going to talk you through your wall thingamajiggies. Right. Now, the first thing you're going to say to me is, that's great, Gemma, I can't get up the wall. Now, mostly, if, like I said, you've been hopping for a while in your down dog, and if your planks and your down dogs are strong, you will be able to get up there. It's just that the amount of effort you need to use is way more than you think. With more effort, however you want to say, comes greater responsibility. But in a way it does. With more effort comes more chance for things to be scary. If we're really kicking up, where are we going to go? If we're really kicking up and really making an effort, what's going to happen? All the time, we keep the effort kind of below vertical, then we're safe. Body knows we're safe. We're kind of dealing with two things here. We're dealing with our human need for fulfillment and for betterment, I guess, even though to do a handstand is not better, but it feels like something changing within us and our need for survival. And I think we need to trust both of those. Yes, going upside down is a scary thing. And yes, we could get injured. Yes, it's unlikely, but yes, especially if we're prepared. And the second thing is we want to do fun stuff and we want to challenge those blocks that we put on. And what is that block? What is that need to survive? Can we push it a little bit? Why not? Let's see what happens. So that's the first thing. We probably need more energy than we're giving it. That's the first thing. So if that's the case with you, then this part of the flow, you can put me on pause, and it might take you 6 weeks of kind of kicking to get the body and the mind to find out how much effort is needed to kick up. There's really no shortcut of getting against the wall. It is effort and strength, and confidence isn't the word, but hopefully you kind of know what I mean. Trust. And the second thing is you can get your friend to help you. I don't have a friend here. I only have my cat. Pretty sure he wouldn't help me. So if you really think your strength is really great, you know you can get up there, there's just something holding you back, and you just need that first step, your friend can help you by taking your foot when you're in a three-legged dog. They pop their hand on the top of your foot and you push down their hand with as much effort as you possibly can, like that. Like their hand is like the worst thing ever. So they are pressing the top of your foot and you're pushing down. From there, you'll be able to float, not jump, float this leg, this foot off of the floor. Once that happens together, you and your friend will move towards the wall. If you're unsure, please message me. Don't kind of get a half-baked idea of what it's going to be like and then try it. Yes, so you've got choices. You just continue to hop, knowing that the wall's there, knowing that all that's going to happen is if you overhop, you're going to whack the wall, you might get a little bit of a bruised foot, and then you'll probably land back down with a foot. You might get a little bruised heel. As long as you've got fairly nice cushioning, nothing's really going to happen. Or you've got your friend to help you get up. Sometimes you'll know the effort needed and you'll have the strength required and you'll be able to get up. When you get up, we are just building stamina. We are just building familiarity and comfort being upside down. I know it's super tempting when you get up there to think, oh, I can balance. Maybe I can kind of move away from the wall. Just don't. Just get used to being upside down and breathing. We won't stay at the wall for many weeks. We're just using it to soothe our nervous system and to condition our body. And then we'll start moving away. And then we won't use the wall again. Okay. Hopefully I haven't bored you. Hopefully you're still here. Right. So literally, we're just going to hop up. So forearms down, slightly narrower than shoulders because they're going to puff out, and then you're going to come low. At all times, you're going to push the floor away with your hands. If you don't do that, as soon as you lose activation, your head's going to come to the floor. It's not the worst thing, but we want to learn how that doesn't happen. So keep on pushing. The wider the arms go, the lower we get. So you want to start off nice and narrow, and you want to continue pushing. When you get up there, just breathe. Just breathe. So one leg is your hopping leg. One leg is your swinging leg. That swinging leg stays straight. It stays straight. If you want, you can have a little practice now. So that leg swings so much and stays straight so much that it actually takes your hopping leg with it. So there's no hopping going on. It's just a transfer of weight. Then that hopping leg becomes hopping. It's like a spring. So we bend at the ankle joint, we bend at the knee joint, and then we release that spring to come up. And you might come up all the way, you might come up a little way. If you come up all the way, great. If you come up a little way, great. Take your time and have another little hop again. Once you get there, breathe. And then whatever you're doing, just take a brief pause. There's one thing I should have said to you and I forgot, is how to get down. If you use your legs separately, it means that you'll come down a little bit slowly and more controlled. If both those come down together, the hips will follow and it could potentially be a little bit heavier. Now that's fine, it's just a jump. We jump all the time, totally fine. But it's a little bit nicer to take your legs separately so that the hips coming down is under control. So I like to do that by taking one foot and one leg and bending it into me and then letting that leg roll down. So I've hopped up and then I think I come good. I bend one leg, that comes down, my other leg is still there, so the weight of my body is still upright, and then I can control my descent down. Right, if you're still having lots of fun there, of course, by all means, pause me. Otherwise, let's come and spend the next 3 minutes just cooling down. So, I would suggest closing your eyes for this cool down and just letting your body guide what it needs, because often it's quite emotional. When we get upside down, when we do things we're not comfortable with, it can shake up stuff. And we may or may not know the route, but either way, if you feel safe, you can close your eyes and just honor that feeling. So for me, especially with upper body stuff, it's kind of got to be hands-on. So it's got to be a massage combined with a stretch. And it may be that as you take your hands to the sides of your neck and to the upper shoulders and to the back of your shoulder blades, it might be that you just follow the line that your body wants to take. Or it might be that you're unsure. So if we're thinking about the traps, there's a little massage and a little stretch. So wherever you're feeling the trap sensation, move your head away from that sensation. Oh. And then other side. And you might massage the forearms. So if you think about the bones of the lower arm, they're in a little bit of a kind of twisty fashion. So you might take that twist and allow the skin to roll. You might notice that the biceps need a little bit of a squeeze. Oh. And either your hands on the shoulders, the deltoids might be bent, getting a little bit of fresh blood. And you might prefer a little stretch going through there. And then on the other side. Oh. And rest. If you have time to properly take a rest, do so. That's not in the time frame for today. But if you have got it in your day, it's going to really help you to absorb the practice, which means next time you can build on the things that you've learned. Just gives you a little bit of extra time to absorb everything that you've done today. Namaste.